Welcome to the Emotionally Baked podcast, where being emotionally baked, booked, and blooming is on the docket for today. Hello, and welcome back to the Emotionally Baked podcast, where we talk about our emotions, all while baking something yummy. And today, it's an EB cubed podcast. We're going to bake. We're going to talk about a book. We're going to talk about some bloomingness. We're going to talk about it all today because we're back. Oh my goodness. If you didn't notice, it's been a month since I haven't posted a podcast. 4 weeks. Can you believe it? 4 weeks. I've been slacking off, taking a vacation, doing things to kind of just renew my energy to do this, to be here, and here I am. So, yes, I might look a little, what is the word? If you are not watching, I have my hair in rollers and in a bonnet, and I have my house dress on. We're just chilling this summer. We are chilling. We're just taking it easy, not taking myself too seriously. And I have self-tanner on that is drying. I'm trying to do too many things at once. Really, that's what it is. I'm multitasking. But yes, welcome back. And this one is going to be the emotions about coming back to it, coming back to something, refreshing that. So that's the emotion. And the baking is going to be banana bread. We're gonna make some banana muffins. I'm gonna put some chocolate chips. I think I might even do a little bit of maybe a pistachio in the banana nut. I think it would be good for that. Sometimes I just use pecans, but I might do some pistachios, don't know. I'm still brainstorming that. We're using all the B alliteration today. So we got coming back, we got banana nut muffins. We've got blooming with baby's breath. We are really going for the alliteration. I have some amazing stuff to show you in my garden, and the book we're talking about is Ballad of Falling Dragons. And we're gonna mix it all together today because I feel like it, number one, and I feel like it would be fun to see if I can mix it all together and test my editing. So we are gonna start by being in the kitchen, baking, talking about kind of being back and what that looks like. And my recipe today is from The Joy of Vegan Baking. I've had this recipe for eons now, and it is one that I kind of started out my vegan kind of journey with. So I've had it for probably about 16 years. So I don't know if this recipe, I'm pretty sure you can find it anywhere. I'll put it in the show notes so that you can kind of follow along. The only really thing I do a little differently is that I do add some cinnamon into it because I just feel like cinnamon and banana nut bread or banana chocolate chip muffins or whatever you want to do with this recipe. You can really do pretty much anything with it. I just like cinnamon. I think it just complements it very well. So it's your basic flour, baking soda, salt, sugar, oil, bananas, water, vanilla. And that's real. I mean, I'll put the amounts below, but that's kind of really the basis of this recipe. Now, you can use it for bread. You can use it for muffins. I've done it both, and it works very well either way. And yeah, so we're just gonna get started with some of maybe our dry ingredients because I didn't start this hack until much later. And I don't know why it took me so long. My bananas are ready. They're ready to be mushed. And I like my bananas kind of like when they're like freckly and they're just to that point where you're like questioning whether they're okay or not. So I have them in my bowl ready, and I used to either take a fork or a pastry blender or a potato masher and mash them up. I've had a stand mixer for so long, and I don't know why I didn't think that I could just put them in the stand mixer and the mixer would mush them for me. Duh. So if you don't do that or you haven't done that, please save yourself some arm work. Well, if you want an arm workout, but I just put the bananas into the mixer and it mushes them up super quick, and it really cuts out half the time, honestly. So I'm going to get our dry ingredients into my sifter. As you know, I like to sift my dry ingredients. I think it's just super important, especially when you have stuff like baking powder, baking soda. It's important to sift that because you don't want clumps. Welcome back to the Let's Get Baking mug. Actually, is this the mug I was using? Yeah, I think it was. I don't remember. Anyways, so where have I been? Let's talk about what we're getting back from. Where have I been? So the first 2 weeks that I wasn't on my podcast, we took a vacation. We took a vacation to cut to, if you're watching, sorry. I mean, if you're not watching, sorry. So you just saw a picture of Hawaii. We were in Hawaii. It was beautiful, gorgeous, much needed break. We went kind of as like a multitude of celebrations, I will say. A very much, let's see, we had a cousin graduating from elementary school. So 8th grade, they were graduating. We had, my son had graduated from high school. So it was kind of like a celebration with that. Me and my husband, we are celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary coming up. So it was kind of that too. And it was just a whole bunch of just celebrations rolled up into one. And so yeah, we went for 10 days. I would say it felt like 2 weeks because we had a weekend. We left on Monday, then we came back the following, we spent 10 days, came back on a Friday, so then we had the weekend to recover. So it kind of felt like 2 weeks, but we were only technically in Hawaii for 10 days. So, but it was great and great fun. I muted that for you because getting flour out of that bag is so loud. Anyway, so we went to Hawaii. We had a great time. We split it up between two kind of sections. We stayed at a resort at a little bit of it, and then we stayed at an Airbnb the second little bit of it. So that was really nice to kind of split things up and to, just have we had fun with family, and then we had fun with just our little family. So that was great, good times. So, and then after we got back, I don't know if you've ever been anywhere longer than 6 hours from your time zone. So wherever you are in the world, and then I don't know if people all over the world are listening to me. I think it's just my friends. But anyways, if you've ever been anywhere that is more than, I would say 5 or 6 hours from where you're currently living, and then you have to travel, like the time change. Oh my goodness. I will say that time change has literally, it has done a number. I don't feel like I have recovered fully, and it's been almost, let's see, we got back June 11th. So today I'm filming, it's almost been 2 weeks since we've been back, and I still feel a little groggy. It's just crazy. It's crazy how the time change does to you. So needless to say, after we got back, we had to get back into the swing of things. Almost immediately, my son had to go to orientation for his college. I can't even right now. I'm trying to be a big girl and not get emotional about my child going off to college. I already have one child in college, so I don't know why this is affecting me so. But yeah. And so almost immediately, so we had so much going on. We had college orientation, cleaning the house, getting stuff back together, all the things. And it literally felt like there was no time for anything. Oh, so that's where I've been. And needless to say, coming back from something, like whether it's been like maybe you were sick and down and out for a couple of weeks, maybe you did travel, or maybe there was a work thing, just coming back to your main, I would say, quote, mainstream life. Whew, it's a doozy. Thankfully, I'm trying to think about, we did laundry when we were in Hawaii before we left. So when we came back, and then I had done laundry here before I left, and I had given everybody clean sheets, and everybody had all the sheets. So when we came back, it didn't feel so stressful. It felt like, okay, everybody has clean sheets, everybody has clean clothes in their suitcases. So except for what you're wearing, we're pretty good for a little bit. But of course, you live and your house gets, so we had a lot of, unpacking to do and all the things. I'm gonna get now, normally, yes, I would use my favorite bowl, but I'm gonna use my stand mixer, like I had said, to blend my bananas. So let me get my mixer. I meant just the mixer bowl, not the entire thing, because I'm going to put my bananas right in here. And you will see with me, if you're watching, if they're rotten or not. We'll just cross our fingers that they're good. So anyways, yeah, so coming back from something huge like that, and something that is, it's taking your time and your energy and all the things, yeah, it really is a lot. And you've got to, kind of reprogram your brain to kind of go back to, oh yeah, like we do this. And thank goodness we didn't have to go right back to anything major, like school or anything immediately. That would have been really hard. Oh, that banana did not do well. Let's just say that. I'm thinking I'm gonna leave that banana in that bowl. So because one of my bananas isn't, we're not gonna, and my recipe calls for 4 bananas, I'm just gonna say, hope that this works and cross our fingers. Sometimes I just do that. I wing things, and I know some people don't like when I do that, when I just wing it. But hey, if you do only have, this recipe calls for 4 bananas. If you do only have 3, I think I've done it with 3 before and it works, but if you're a little nervous about it, just put a little applesauce. It'll help. It'll help bind it. I'm sorry, I'm a little crazy when it comes to, a little nuts when it comes to baking. Okay, so teaspoon of vanilla. I'm gonna actually put some of the wet ingredients in here just to kind of help to blend this up. So I measure vanilla with my heart, even though it says a teaspoon. I like vanilla, so yeah. Oh, also, I measure cinnamon with my heart too. So I didn't put any in the blender, but I'll put some, or into the sifter. I'll put a little now. Yeah, looks good. I just love cinnamon, it just smells so good. Yum. And sugar is, for me, a wet ingredient, so I'm gonna put that in here with my water and my oil. And we'll just whip this up. I've got my 1/4 cup of water. Now, my oil is, let's see. Oh my goodness. I'm exactly at 1/3 cup. I don't do things like this on purpose. Sometimes I just get really lucky, and I think sometimes I'm thankful a lot, because then I don't have to go back and get another container of oil. All right, let's whip this up. Okay, literally not even a minute of whisking or whipping, and that just came together. So I'm going to sift my dry ingredients over top. I'll mute this so you don't have to listen, because remember, this is loud. right, the ingredients are sifted into the stand mixer. I'm gonna let this mix for maybe 2 or 3 minutes and it's gonna combine, and then I'll dump in my chocolate chips. That's it. Okay, so we've gotten all the mixed up in our bowl, and honestly, it looks almost like cookie dough. A little runny for cookie dough, but it looks like that. And I've got my sprayed muffin tin. We're just gonna plop this in there. Yep, as we finish our talk about being back. So yeah, coming back to, your daily life and all the things and what you're doing is sometimes just super overwhelming. And sometimes we almost get into, or at least I do, we get into a state of like, almost like a freeze state. Like I'm back, but I don't feel like I can do anything because I almost don't know where to begin. And I will tell you, preparing to come home in the sense of like, being able to, do laundry while I was away really helped. It really helped to kind of ease that stress to come home. But I will say, and part of the reason why I've taken a long time to come back and do a podcast is because that was part of my coming back, was to not stress myself out, to come back and start doing all the daily things or all the stuff right away. Because for me, I would have been really overwhelmed. So I'm trying, or at least I tried, to go slow, get back into it. There was a lot of yard work to do, let me tell you. Oh, by the way, I have to tell you about this coffee I'm drinking. I'm trying to stay one-track minded these days and not get off track so much. But I know I do. I get off track. Oh my goodness. But anyway, so I tried to kind of make sure that I wasn't doing too many things. Like I did go to work. I had to go to work. Bills got to be paid, and I got to make sure I was making sure to get all that done. But I only went in like 2 days, and thank goodness my parents are here, so that helped in terms of like getting me back into the swing of things. I don't know how, honestly, to do it without family around sometimes. Like I just feel so grateful. I'm so grateful. Oh, I'm almost done with all this batter. And I fill this all the way to the top. I don't do 2/3. You know how sometimes it says to only fill the cup 2/3 of the, I don't do that. I literally go all the way. Yep, all done. So I filled it all the way. So yeah, I did take, some time to kind of make sure that I had all of, like, my house felt clean, my stuff felt kind of back in order. We got the big things done, like college orientation and, getting kind of unpacked and all that kind of stuff. And before I felt like I could come back and make a video. So like, yeah, I feel take the time you need. Take the time you need when you're coming back from something. It doesn't have to be a vacation. It can be an illness. It can be, something, a major life event that you just feel like you need to take a break from everything. So yeah. All right, let me tell you about this coffee. I got this, we stayed at Airbnb, and the Airbnb was amazing. And, I'll try to find it so I'll show you a picture. Maybe I'll insert a picture here. Okay, hopefully I inserted a picture. This is called Gold Roast Bright and Lively. It's proudly roasted since 1864 Lion coffee. It is so good. This is a medium to light roast. I am drinking this. I don't know if you can see it. If you can't see it, oh, I'm drinking it black. I just put a sweetener in it, like one little, and that was it. Like, so good. It is good with some creamer, but it's really good. So we fell in love with that while we were at our Airbnb, and me and my daughter had to go find it and bring it home. So, and I had to buy a coffee maker because this is the coffee grounds, and I only usually do instant coffee with like a tea kettle and then pouring it over. That's usually how I make my coffee, or a Keurig. And I didn't have like a traditional coffee maker, so I had to go out and buy a coffee maker to make the coffee. Yay! Okay. So we're gonna transition now. We're gonna go into some blooming discussions as we head out into the garden to look at some stuff that has been happening out there. And I am going to preheat the oven to 350, and hopefully by the time we're done with our little walk to the garden, this will be ready to stick in the oven. All right, so if you're watching this via the video, or I am walking to show you my garden. Now, if you're just listening, I have about an acre that I have tried to nurture after taking this, ouch, I just stepped on something. I don't know what it was, but I am wearing shoes. I've tried to nurture ever since we took the house over, and yeah, my husband's grandmother was a gardener, and so I'm really trying my hardest to do it justice out here and not walk into a spider web, which I almost did. And I should show you more of myself so it doesn't look like I'm not wearing anything. Anyway, so if you hear that, that is my chickens, and we say thank you to them every time we have, good morning, we have some eggs. So in my garden, I want to show you this right here. This is a massive amount of baby's breath. Now, baby's breath is very, I feel like, fragile, gentle, delicate, such a delicate flower. I brought scissors with me so I can cut off a piece and show you. There we go. Isn't she beautiful? I'm gonna cut some here because I'm gonna dry it. And this is the purpose for me for growing this, is to dry it. But I wanted to talk a little bit about, in this segment, about coming back. We're gonna talk about also coming back in terms of flowers. Now, I grew this baby's breath from seed. I know, I might be crazy. I'm not sure. Who knows? But I grew it from seed, and I just wanted to grow it from seed to see if I could at first. That was a big thing. I wanted to see if I could. And when it first happened, when I first, got a few little sprouts coming up in the, look at how big this is. It's so pretty. First coming up, the sprouts coming up of the ground, I was like super excited. I was like, yes, I'm gonna have baby's breath and this is amazing. And it did nothing. The little sprout came and then died. And I mean, it was green for summer, and then it just went away. And I was really disappointed. I thought all of my hard work had kind of just fizzled, and nothing was going to happen with this baby's breath. And so I left it. I didn't do anything. I just left it in the ground and just crossed my fingers and hoped and prayed that it would come back, the next year. And sure enough, the next year, look at how much I have already. Oh my goodness. And I've only cut like 4 things. I'm cutting this I want to dry it and have it for bouquets. And I just love it so much. Anyway, and so the next year it grew, and it had maybe one maybe one of these, one little sprigs of these. But the joy of seeing that come back, and I know it was a small amount, but the joy of seeing that baby's breath come back in that small amount was I was so excited. I was just like, oh my goodness, it came back. It didn't totally die on me. I thought for sure that the plant had died. Like the plant had died. It wasn't gonna, it wasn't gonna do anything. That was it. And when it came back and it was this little thing, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna praise this little thing. I'm gonna just keep watching it, and yes. And it was so amazing. Well, that was last summer. And this summer, I mean, she came back. She came back with a vengeance. She said, oh, you just wait. You just wait. You've waited and you've nurtured me and you've given me the good. You've given me the good soil. You've given me the good love. You've given me all the things. I'm going to come back for you. And she did. She has come back so beautifully. And I am so excited. And that just, for me, that's a metaphor. And not a too hard metaphor, right? That we can come back from things. And yes, it might be a vacation. But what if it's that big thing? What if it's that that sickness or that, something, that big event that happened. I remember I lost a job, and losing that job, oh my, it was so difficult for me. I remember it was a job that I loved. It was a job that I, was super excited for. It was something that I wasn't expecting to lose because I was asked to, I was sought out for the job. I didn't even apply for the job. I was sought out for the job. And then when I lost the job, it was just very, disheartening. And I introverted into myself, and I just didn't know how to cope or handle. But I came back from it. Definitely came back from it. And I feel like even stronger and better. And just like this baby's breath, let's not give up hope. We can come back from things. We can, get through those hard things. We can do it. We can, make that change that, we don't think we can, but then, we get through it. We get through those hard times. And I'm sorry if you're watching this and you're seeing right up my nose, but I'm looking at all of my other vegetables that are coming in. So that is a note from the blooming part of our podcast today is, you can come back. You can come back. It's hard, but you can come back. All right. So we are going to transition now to see if our oven is preheated. Okay, if you didn't see, we put the muffins in the oven. The oven was preheated when we got back out inside from the garden, and we're gonna head now to our book nook. We are going to talk about coming back to reading and coming back to a beautiful book, Ballad of Falling Dragons. Okay, now we have transitioned to being in the book nook, and we are back here while we are waiting for our banana muffins to finish. They are in the oven at 350 for 20 minutes. They may take a little longer since I didn't have I didn't have that last banana. The consistency seemed a little runny. I didn't want to add anything else. So I think I'm just going to let them bake for a little bit longer, see how that works out. And we are back in our book nook to talk about coming back to reading. And that, I did take books with me on my trip. But it was so funny because I I wanted to enjoy the experience while I was there, and I wanted to, be in the moment with all the things. And I did read my book, and I did finish it while I was there. But coming back to reading in terms of like how I read at home and all the things, it was a little bit difficult because I will be honest with you, as soon as I got back, everything was ready for me to get. So like all of my reservations on my Libby app, all of my things were saying, hey, we're ready for you to take this and listen to it or read it or this and that. And I was overwhelmed. So coming back to reading after you've either been away or you've taken a break from reading or done the things, that life has is kind of difficult sometimes. And I really felt this book that I'm going to share with you was a good kind of segue, helping me to kind of bridge the gap between being on vacation and then coming back, because not only was it, one that I had waited for. I waited for 2 years. If you read When the Moon Hatched, this is the sequel to When the Moon Hatched. When the Moon Hatched came out about 2 years ago, and I gobbled that book up, and so I was anxiously awaiting the second, and I just couldn't wait for this one to come out. And when I heard that it was coming out, I was so excited, and as many of us book lovers were. And so I started this right before I left on my trip, and I tried to read a lot of it, either on the plane or doing my things, but of course got busy, and so I finished it though coming back. And I really appreciated this as like a, coming back to my reading after I'd been gone. And it just really helped me to kind of like, kind of get back into it. Because when you're away, your mind is somewhere else and you're taking the time to relax. And if reading is relaxing for me, but I just kind of wanted to, take it away a little bit more. So while I did have this book on my vacation, I felt like I really got to, I really focused on like enjoying and doing, being away. And then I think finishing it when I was on my way back was just like a nice kind of like, okay, getting back into all of the reading that I had waiting for me when I came back. So I took 3-4 books with me. Yeah. That didn't happen. That did not happen. So I want to give a spoiler-free review first, and then we'll go a little bit deeper. I'm not a deep diver. If you want a deep dive on this book and book series, I highly recommend checking out Fantasy Fangirls. They do a wonderful job at really diving deep into the context of fantasy books and this series they are currently in the deep dive of. Also, if you wanted just a good kind of more light diving into the book is Flights of Fantasy. They do a really good job. I love them too. They just give you that synopsis that you're looking for, not heavy, but just fun. And so I recommend them as well. This will not be anything. It'll just be an emotional reaction. That's why we're here. We're emotionally hooked. We're emotionally reacting to the book. I'm not deep diving. I'm not doing all the lore, the things. No. My reviews are all about the feelings. That's what my reviews are and how this book really made me feel. So overview, this is a quick review. I can't give this book enough stars. There's 5-star ratings, there's whatever rate, I can't give it enough. And that I'm definitely a feels reader. So if it made me feel good, if I left I enjoyed that, you get an easy 5 stars from me. I'm not very picky. I'm not very judgmental. You know, it doesn't have to be written immaculately. I'm just definitely a feels reader. And so obviously it wouldn't have been hard 5 stars, but this is even more above and beyond that. Like, yes, the feelings were immaculate and it was just like a 5-star read, but in terms of the writing and the way that this book just left my jaw dropped in terms of just all of it, just encompassing, I could give it so many stars. I could give it the universe. It is amazing. It just the way Sarah A. Parker writes, it just real like I knew this from the first book. When I read When the Moon Hatched, I couldn't recommend it to my friends fast enough. I was like, you have to read this book. This book is amazing. And it gave so many like descriptions of feelings and emotions that I just never, like, yeah, we think about our feelings and emotions, but I just never really grasped how like clearly somebody could write it and you just understood it. And that was just amazing to me. And this book did the same. This book just really grabbed those parts of, you know, the struggles, different struggles too. And it's just so interesting to see the writing of different people's perspectives and different aspects, male perspectives, female perspectives, all the things, even dragon perspectives, sort of like we never, and you just get like bits and pieces of all these like, characters' feelings and what they're going through. That is just amazing to see a writer do that and being able to to describe all of these things that you wouldn't even think needed to be being described, but she does it just so well that not only are you entrapped by the story, the plot, everything that's moving forward, I got totally entangled in the emotions of the characters and how they were dealing with what they were going through just by the descriptions and the words and just the way everything was just flowing through the book. And I just cannot give it any more stars than I know what to say, because so that's kind of my spoiler-free review of the book. If you are a feels reader, definitely 100,000,000%, please read this series. It is amazing. If you are you love fantasy, lore, plot, all the things, 1,000,000 times %, read this book. If you are both, ta-da! You have such a gem in your pocket to read. This is just, I don't know. I just don't know how much more to recommend a book. It's just amazing. So I am currently listening to Fantasy Fangirl's deep dive into this book, and I just love doing that after reading a book, to hear kind of like other people's perspectives on a series, particularly, are they feeling that? Did they get the same vibe that I did? Am I just dreaming that this was amazing? And everybody who I've listened to who has reviewed this book, now I might be biased because I probably choose people who I know will agree with me. So I'm sorry. I know there's some people who didn't like it, and that's fine. I'm not here to judge if you like a book or if you don't. But the ones that I have listened to, I've just really been enthralled with the writing in the book and everything, just like myself. So I'm really it just makes you feel like, oh yeah, see, you just want that camaraderie and that feeling. You're like, yay, I wasn't the only one who felt that way. And my girlfriends who have read the book, they are just like, yes, and it was so good, and yay, it just makes you feel like, oh good, I'm not the only one who feels so good about it. But yeah, in terms of the story, so the main characters are Rave and Khan, and they to me embody Their relationship is just, I have loved watching it evolve. I have loved watching them fall in love with each other again. Wink, wink. We won't go into that if you haven't totally read the series. So yes, fall in love with each other again, and just the paths of what they both had to go through to get to the point that they are in this book is truly it's some of it's heartbreaking, some of it is heartwarming, some of it is just mind-blowing. You just can't believe what they've gone through. And I just love how Sarah just shows us each of their journeys to get to the point where they are now able to be together and to be partners. And my puppy is looking at me. Do you want to come and join me? He's been a rascal today. And yeah, he has not coped well with us coming back from vacation. That is one thing that has been off about coming back, is my puppy child. He has been very upset that we were gone, even though he had grandma and grandpa here the whole time. He was very upset that we were gone, and he has been showing us that he has been very upset the whole 2 weeks that we've been back. He has been pooping all over the house. He has been getting into trash. He has been barking at when we're clearly just right there. He's been barking at us. He is not, I don't think, accepted that we're back yet. I think he's still mad at us that we left. He walked away. He was standing right here, and he just was like, let me be with you. I'm like, okay. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, back to the review. Oh, friends, our muffins, the timer is going off. So let me pause and go check on our muffins. So I wanted to take an example from the book that will show you how Sarah A. Parker can write feeling into something that you didn't even think could have feeling. Now we know that people, animals have feelings, and yeah, but this is something I just wanted to share with you because I feel like it just encompasses how beautifully she writes and how you can look at something that is semi-inanimate and it can give it so much beauty and feeling just through the writing. Am I trying to convince you to read this? Yes, I'm trying to convince you to read this, but I just think it's so beautiful. Okay, if you don't know the story, you won't understand the fact that this POV is called Silver Ribbon. But just know that in this book there is a silver-ish ribbon type of thing that is with our main character, and at the moment it seems to be inanimate-ish. So just to preface this, okay. The ribbon may be pretty, ever orbiting the world that does not spin, helping folk track the passage of time. But it's not there by choice. It's shackled to the sky, for the ribbons were once part of something more, something whole. And threading the many lost pieces of Kalis back together could not be done without solid entities to do the stitching. The ribbons know that, have been doing their part to make things right, slow going as it is. I mean, you don't know who Kalis is or anything like that, but it just, I don't know, that was just so beautiful. Reading something that you didn't think could have this beautiful perspective as a inanimate entity-ish type of thing. It's so masterfully written. I just love it so much. There's so many other great examples of the emotional writing and the emotional pieces, and as we see through the many characters that are in the many perspectives that are in this book. And that's one reason why I really like this book, this particular. Before there was a couple of perspectives, but I feel like this one has a ton. There is main character, male, female main characters. There are perspectives from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 side characters. I mean, this is a book that really encompasses so many facets of the story, and you get so many different emotions from the story, and you really understand the feelings that everybody is going through. Especially, I mean, we have loss, we have love, we have betrayal, we have anger, we have doubt, we have all the things. And I just feel like this is really shown. So I just this, I don't know how much more to say. Read this book, or read the series. First one is When the Moon Hatched. The second one is Ballad of Falling Dragons. I can't say it. Ballad of Falling Dragons. And look how gorgeous this is. I mean, come on. Come on. Look at this. Gorgeous. Oh my gracious. Anyway. All right. Well, let's go back in the kitchen. The banana muffins are done. And yeah, we're going to finish this crazy long coming back to podcast out. All right, friends. Our muffins are finished. And let's take a look at them. Oh, it's going to be toasty because it just got out of the oven. It did take 20 minutes, but they are done. And right here we go. For those of you who aren't watching, they turned out lovely. Rose up, didn't overflow, nothing. So, yep, super yummy. There we go. All right. Well, thank you for joining me on this epic, I guess, coming back podcast. This emotionally B cubed podcast. We've got the banana bread, we've got the baby's breath, and we've got Ballad of Falling Dragons. We really went for it. We went for it with all the alliteration today, and yeah. And just know, when you're coming back from something, it's not easy, and it can, be a little stressful. Do something new, to help you to come back slowly, to get back into the swing of things. It took me a month. Y'all, it's okay. It's okay to take time to come back to things. And I hope you enjoyed this triple podcast. And I will look forward to seeing you next time. And just remember, whether the salt in your recipe comes from tears or a teaspoon, just remember, we baked it out. And this time, we bloomed a little and booked a little as well. Have a good one, and we'll see you next time.